You have reached the right place and the right channel, the Underdog Research Channel, and I am the principal researcher for all things technology, Underdog Researcher, and this is a update for SWFTCOIN, and I have to talk about the patent and the trademark, something you need to know about this project, and I'm going to bring you all the way through to learn, so let's get started. But we're still not done. Fidelity Investments and also SWFTCOIN, both by the same creator, created their patented technologies that inventors live in the U.S. and branches and connections with both Silicon Valley and also international and U.S. market. An opportunity for others that it potentially, and I said again, potentially could have worldwide effects in the next 12 to 18 months. I'm not talking about right now. I wasn't talking about right now, but we are here today. Thank you for joining. And today I'm going to be exploring this project's patents and this project's trademark. But I also, based on my research, am going to explore the company itself. Now, most times we don't think about those things, but if you get into a project, you really need to understand everything you can to add it to your research. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm not against any project. I'm here to provide you my research and you can use it for however you choose to use it. Now let's get started and talk about this particular project. It was announced by Swift Blockchain. Swift Blockchain proudly announced that they had been accepted by the United States Patent and Trademark Office, a patent filing for the invention that describes their product as conducting optimized cross-blockchain currency transactions using machine learning. Now that's artificial intelligence, folks. And that was announced in May 9th of 2018 at 2:12 p.m. So I decided that I was going to look into it. And what did I find? I found the inventors. I saw Xing Shin, Alex Witt, and Bo Lan as the inventors of this patent. And that is what I found, which was released on May 4th of 2018. So I went through and I showed you a connection that you didn't know. Xing Shin, one of the inventors, Alex Witt, and Bo Lan, they had a connection together. But specifically, Xing Shin, one of the top scientists, went to North Carolina State University as well in engineering and technology, went a step further. Not only were they found to be one of the inventors of Swift blockchain, but they were also seen on another patent for SOCAT patent for fidelity, which patent was called computationally efficient transfer processing and auditing apparatus methods and systems. Now, this was a breakthrough that many people didn't know. The Underdog Research Channel showed you the connection between Fidelity's patent for their ETF for Bitcoin and Swift blockchain's patent by the same creator. And we saw that Swift blockchain on February 29th sent out this message. They stated trading volume surged to an all-time high with 7.7 billion traded on February 28th. BlackRock's iShares of ETF led to a charge, doubling its daily record, while Fidelity's FBTC also soared with double volumes. That was Fidelity's introduction to their patent used by an inventor that was on SWFTCOIN. Now, I'm about to break down for you, though, the Underdog Research way. Let's take a look at the patent. What do you know about it? Is it still there? We don't ask questions, but we should always look further. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Let's take a look at this project's patent. So Swift blockchain APK is the app. Bo Lan is the CEO of SWFT. But did you notice something interesting? It says a free program for Android by GooCoin. It is safe and secure, a simple way to exchange cryptocurrencies, and you can do it with SWFT blockchain, your go-to crypto wallet and swap. So did you know that SWFT has a company tied to it in the United States called GooCoin? Well, I didn't know if you knew that, but I didn't know, so I'm going to share it with you. So now you know. Now, why I looked that up, I said, well, let's go ahead and find out more about the company, and then we're going to go into the patent. Now, GooCoin, it shows it has one person at that location. They're located at 1601 McCarthy Boulevard in Milpitas, California. It has been in business for 8 years. The CEO is Boland, and it also says that this company does blockchain technology. Now, going deeper into that, I wanted to find out exactly more about the SWFTCOIN company, GooCoin. Their location is, based on the information I found registered for this company, is TI Park, Silicon Valley, and it's a U.S.-China technology startup incubator based in the heart of Silicon Valley. Now, this is in California and is founded in 2013, this park. Now, TI Park Silicon Valley is a joint project between the THTI Holdings, a subsidiary of a holdings company, and also a science park. So this is a technology area where everyone gets together, and it's a subsidiary of another company. Now, it aims to encourage startup companies in the U.S. and China. Here's a connection you need to know: to go beyond the border, to expand overseas markets, and to promote business communication and cooperation between Silicon Valley in U.S. and China. Now, TI Park Silicon Valley features nearly 50,000 square feet office area and is now located in Milpitas, California. Now, I'll put 2 green check marks so you can see it. The industry is a venture capital private equity principles, and that's for TI Park. That's who is in this ecosystem that's housed in this 50,000 square foot office area, and their headquarters in the USA, Milpitas, California. Now, here is a picture of TI Park, Silicon Valley. I just want to again connect that we're talking about a company. We often talk about the blockchains by name. We'll say SWFTCOIN, we'll say SWFT blockchain, but you need to understand it's tied to an actual business. Now, I thought it would be good to see that the TI Park Silicon Valley, the business itself, the company itself that houses this ecosystem of startup companies in the technology space, are in 2 locations. The first is in California, as you can see there in green, and the second is in Beijing. There's 2 TI Park locations in the world. You have the Milpitas and you have Beijing, China. Now, Milpitas is the location that we will explore today for this project where they're currently registered. And the second one is the Beijing location. Now, the Beijing location will not be explored today. You could see it with your own eyes that there's 2 locations that they're connected from United States to Beijing, China. And just so you can see it more closely, here's the second location in Beijing, China. Today, let's go and focus on the one location in California for SWFTCOIN. Okay, so let's explore this information. GooCoin is the company that is ran by Ramble Lane, who is the CEO of SWFT. So this company, GooCoin, is the one that created the app for SWFT and currently the one that is registered this project. Now, I want to take a look at where it is in California. So we're going to take a look. Now, it is right next to this building, 22 miles. Now, the address again is 1601. So let's go ahead and take a quick peek and you can see it for yourself. this building right here. I want you to give a good view of it. Take a quick peek. This is the size of the building. Not too much going on. This is T Park, Silicon Valley. And just so you can feast your eyes on it, this right here, folks, this is SWFT. And I took you through showing you the overview of where it's located and also the two companies, T Park, which are in China and in the US, whose sole purpose is to increase collaboration of startup companies in the technology space between people such as US, China, and all over the world. Now, I went ahead and checked about SWFTCOIN. I wanted to find out if it's registered, and this is what I found out about California. Now, California corporations, nonprofits, and LLCs must file a California Statement of Information, also called the California Annual Report. This report must be filed in the California Secretary of State each year or every other year, depending on what type of business you own. I wanted to look more at this company, and I wanted to see what was consistent. Now, according to the sales that was announced for GooCoin, which is SWFTCOIN's company that owns SWFTCOIN, according to the sales and yearly growth, as you can see from 2017 to 2023, the sales were in a sideways trading, not getting too high there. At the high, you see that 250,000, but the actual profits and revenue for this company stay consistent until the crash of 2022. And then you can see it plummeted down to the bottom in 2023. So now that we know where it was historically since it first was released in 2017 and registered and reported in California, GooCoin, the company, we can get an idea about SWFT. Now, as I stated in previous videos, I want to make sure we understand clearly that the all-time high of 9 cents has not ever fully went back there, because that was seed funding given to the company prior to its launch. Then it went down, and it's been in a 6-year downtrend. Well, I think that's really a bad way to look at it, because when you have a downtrend, you have to say that the token had a price, and then that price was sustained for a period of time, and then it continued to go down. But that's not the case. This happened to the token. It had a seed price, and at the time of its launch, it was 9 cents. It immediately went down based on market action, and it had a 6-year trend of staying within the same price range, not going too far up nor going too far down. Now, that's not a downtrend. It's consistently stayed within that funnel. Remember, 2017, not a lot of people were into crypto. By 2022, there's a big crash. So you got to understand that the hump that you see there right in the middle, that is the spike. And that's when crypto started getting more interest. This project hasn't had an opportunity to make a all-time high. That was the seed funding. Now, I want you to look at the market cap for the last 6 years. This is still consistent with what I showed you earlier with the California Annual Report. Because if you look at from 2017 until 2024, the market cap was consistently the same. And even the little rises that you can see there are when crypto itself, the total market went up. So still nothing's changed. This was also discussed. Now, I wanted you to see that I showed you this 6 years of accumulation after the project released, with a floor of 2.5 million. And a top at around 12 million for the market cap. But I wanted to give you this information because it makes sense when you look at the incorporated sales and its yearly growth, how it's consistent in level is consistent with the market, as I showed you here. Now, looking at this a little bit deeper, we can see that the trajectory changes are very visible. Now, I want you to see that this is a look at the price action, and I'm going to go into a little bit more detail, but I wanted to look over the last year, and I put a star in blue and a star in green. And I looked at the trajectory where it looks like an upward trend just to have a better perspective of the overall view of the company, is give you a little glimpse of how I see things. Now, this is not a price action and market cap type of channel I run here. I provide you research, but this is a rare instance where the research does tap into both of those factors, price action and market cap. Now, as I look at this, this is what I've done. I did an overlay of the last year of the market cap in relationship to the price action over the past 6 years. And I wanted to confirm that I see a forward upward trajectory. Now, in the last year, the most recent year, the blue star represents where it was in the last 12 months. And as you can see, the trajectory continues to go up right here until you get to the green. And the green is where it continues to show where it's sitting today, double where it began a year ago. And then if we go down to the last 6 years of price action, I've told you in previous videos that this has been stuck in a channel. Now, we can't think about the release amount. If you have an ICO and you have seed funding, you have money from investors outside of the project. Remember, it hasn't been released yet. So this 9 cents that it was at represented funds that was the first seed money. So of course it's going to drop down. And so once it dropped down into this channel, you see the sideways trading where I've talked to you about the floor and the high over the last 6 years. But here we go again, the blue being the most recent year. If you look at the blue, there's the bottom of price action. And as we can see this little trajectory, I put a star here at the top to the green and an arrow. This shows the trajectory is going up. So the market cap is in agreement with the price action of what's happening with this project. As you've seen there, I just wanted to give you the first overview. I haven't dug deep into the patent or trademark. What have I established to you so far? I've established that SWFTCOIN, Swift Blockchain, is a company called GooCoin. And that company owns SWFTCOIN, Swift Blockchain, one and the same. And that company is based in the United States, but it has ties in China as well, and is situated in California, Silicon Valley, and it's registered as a business in California. And I looked into it and it's still active according to California records. And I wanted to go deeper, but it was important to show you that because when we start to talk about the patent and trademark, you need to understand when it makes a reference to a company that you may not recognize, then you know now why. So let's get into why you came. Let's talk about what is happening with their patent. So it's time to go deep into this. Now, as I showed you, Exin Xing conducting optimized cross-blockchain currency transactions using machine learning was something you discovered. It was one of the inventors of SWFTCOIN, along with Adam Witt and Rambo Land. Now, SWFTCOIN, as I showed you earlier, shows on May 9th, 2018, they have made this announcement about filing their patent with the USPTO. Now, as we can see there, I looked into this. Now, I want you to know, after researching this, there was an application filed by Smart Worldwide Financial Technology. And I want you to see at the top, it's in small letters, it's hard to see. It shows that the inventor is Xing Xing, Alex Witt, and Bo Land. It shows the same patent number for reference. But as I show you in red, the patent is abandoned. So folks, the Swift blockchain patent has been abandoned, but don't fret yet. I think it's important for you to know all things about this project. So let's go into this to find out why and find out what happened to the patent. Here we go. So patent abandonment, why it matters. According to experts on this matter, when inventors patent look at things such as strategic abandonment, gaining and maintaining a patent is very expensive. If the commercial potential is not enough to cover the USPTO fees and legal expenses, a patent may be abandoned. However, abandonment may also simply be an oversight. Regardless of why a patent was abandoned, this topic should be of interest to innovative businesses. Looking into that further, this is what I wanted to find out. I don't know about you, but I wanted to know about these fees. I mean, they couldn't be that expensive. So I looked up the fees for the USPTO, the United States Patent and Trademark Office, to see what type of fees are we talking about here that would have to be paid. So as early as March 6th, 2024, here's some of the fees. I'm just going to go through a few of them, folks. So we got the international filing fee. You know that the original company is in Singapore, and that's $1,445. And then you got the additional fees as you see below, all those fees here. Well, there's a few more fees I need to tell you about. You see, they got the patent application fees, $860 for a multiple dependent claim. Here's one for $10,500. That's a fee. I mean, pretty harsh, $10,500, but that's a fee. But then you got your patent search fees, $700. Here's a reissue examination fee for $2,320. You have to have the patent issue and publication fees. What was I thinking? $1,200 there, $740 here for design issue, and then a reissue fee and a utility fee. We're still not done, folks. We got more fees for this patent. So if you want to get a patent, you have to have a patent extension of time fees, and that can be up to $3,160. A patent maintenance fees. Oh yeah, you got to maintenance the patent as well. So your patent, there's can be up to $7,700 for maintenance, an original or a reissue of a patent. Still not done. There's more fees when you want to have a patent. Miscellaneous patent fees. Well, that can range from $4,200 for a request for prioritized examination. And there's more. There's post-issuance fees. See, you got to get fees after you get the fees, because why wouldn't you get the fees? Well, anyway, I digress. What about this one? An ex parte re-examination non-streamlined fees. I have no idea what that is, but I know it has a $12,600 price tag. And then here's a re-examination ordered as a result of a supplemental examination fee, $12,700 for this fee. This is just patent fees, and you can pick one, folks. Patent trial and appeal fees. Those fees are pretty interesting. Here's a $19,000 fee for up to 20 claims, a $22,500 fee. What about a $27,500 fee? But you thought it was done? No, you keep going to the bottom, folks. There's more fees to talk about. So you have another fee here for patent petition fees, and the list goes on and 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 on. And that is what it's like to get a patent. So I wonder why this project shied away from paying those fees. As we saw earlier, when I showed you the companies filing in California, it had about 150 to 175,000 reported in sales, which is consistent with the price action for 6 years and consistent with the market cap for the last year and 6 years that we saw that comparison. And the fees would have been more than the company actually makes. And according to experts on that matter, not me, but the experts I showed you, they said that sometimes it's strategic. If your current patent is not producing enough equity, then that is normal that companies make a strategic financial decision between staying in business or going out of business by not continuing with a patent. So there we have it, folks. SWFT Coin blockchain did not, from what we can see, have enough assets and liquidity to keep and maintain this patent. Now, let's talk about their trademark. Now, looking into their trademark, I wanted to go deep into this. Now, I'll be talking about three things. SWFT blockchain, this is a trademark. SWFT coin, this is a trademark. And this is a word mark, SWFT. Now, it's important to let you know I am not an expert in these things. I am showing you what I found based on my knowledge. And I'm sure there's others who are a lot more savvy than I am about trademarks and all the things that go with them. But I can review enough to let you know what those three trademarks are: the blockchain, SWFTCOIN, and then the mark. So we got talking about the style of how you draw it, how it's designed. We're talking about the wording, and we're talking about the Swift blockchain, the Swift coin, and the Swift name. So I hope we get that clear as mud, but we're going to go through it. So let's take a look at that. So based on the three things, I looked up SWFTCOIN Foundation, Ltd. Wait a minute, folks. Earlier, I told you about GooCoin. When I looked for the trademark, I found a different company. SWFTCOIN Foundation, Ltd., addressed in 3 Fraser Street, Duo Tower, 189352. That is not in the United States, but I see that it's associated with Ramboland. So in order to understand what's going on, we got to check that company out too, just like we did the one in the United States with GooCoin. Now, I looked up this company and it is registered in Singapore. The address of 3 Fraser Street, and it's specifically in building of Duo Towers, and it has an address of 04-23A. Now, you're going to need to remember that. Now, it has a UEN status, and that means the registration for Singapore, and shows the company as registered. Oh, folks, I'm heating up. You're about to get some underdog researcher on you about this information. So I just gave you something you didn't know. We have 2 companies, folks. We have a Singapore-based company that is associated with the trademark, Swift blockchain, Swift coin, and the marking SWFTC. And we have a United States American company, GooCoin, which ties to China, Beijing, that is over what? The patent itself. So let's check out now the trademarks, the ones associated with this company. Now, as I took a look, the company is in this building here. Looks like a big building. So how about this? Let's go to Singapore, folks. Yes, only at the Underdog Research Channel, I'm going to bring you to Singapore, to the building, to verify whether or not this company is in existence. Are you ready? Are you ready? Who brings you this but the Underdog Research Channel? Let's go to Singapore. So we're going to take a little trip through the area of 3 Fraser Street, Duo Tower, where the SWFTCOIN Foundation is located. I'm going to walk you all the way through it and see it firsthand for yourself. I mean, literally see where the business should be located. What we're looking for is, where was this business registered in Singapore at the time in which it initiated, 2017, and it was in the month of September. And I want you to know that we're going to end up at the destination and look at the directory where it was registered at 423A. So let's take a look. As you look at the outside of the building, it's a very, very nice building, and it is worth millions of dollars. And the cost of staying at this building is quite expensive. This is both doubles as a residency where you can live, and office space. So as I walk through this with you virtually, we are going through the lobby of this massive, beautifully designed building with a little honeycomb shapes you can see on the side. And as you go up the stairs and escalators with me, I want you to notice the place isn't very shabby, is it? I mean, it's very, very well put together. Now, as I like to go through and look at these companies, I want to look at where they state they're registered. I like to look at information such as the surroundings, who else is in the building, what is going on. Now, you got to keep in mind, though, that at the time in which this was done is in 2024. At the time in which this company registered, SWFTCOIN, was 2017. So I'm not looking for it to stay the same, but I just want to give you a brief glimpse into the actual structures. Now, here's where you've been waiting for. Now, here's the towers from a virtual standpoint, and I'm looking at the directory right now, and I'm going to pan over, and we're looking for 423A, and I'm going to show you where it is. Do you see it? It should be under alphabetical order of SWFTCOIN, but I will show you that. And this is the building, and so we're looking for 423A on the directory, and I'm going to look around a little bit more, show you a little bit about the building, and that is all for the review of this building with SWFT. I took you all the way to Singapore. Who else would bring you to Singapore but the Underdog Research Channel? And I told you that I looked at the directory, and remember when this was Trademark was first registered was around 2017. So that was a few years ago. So I wanted to find out, is the company that was registered at that address and had a registration that was on the trademarks, is it still there? So let's find out exactly what the registration shows versus what the directory shows. Now, on the registration, it had 4-23A, and I put it here, and I'm sure you can't see it, but I'll try to blow it up for you. I went ahead and showed you the directory for the Duo Towers, and for 423, it doesn't have an A, but for 423, there is a company there, and it's not the same one. The company there is Miller Canal, and it's at that directory. So that lets me know, based on 2024, the company that registered a trademark has likely moved from that location. Now, I didn't check to see where they moved to. I figured that you want to know more about the trademark, but I think it's important to know that there was a company that was there during the time it was filed in 2017, and the building and what it looked like, so you can see the origin story of SWFTCOIN. Now let's go back to what we was coming for. Let's get into this trademark. So this is what I found. Now, if you see here, you have requests for express abandonment, and you see the SWIFT blockchain in blue and white. This is considered the mark for SWIFT blockchain. And accordingly, when it comes to the first trademark of SWIFT blockchain, it shows that Alex Witt, one of the inventors of the technology's patent, on 10/24/2018, signed a request for express abandonment, which is associated with this mark, which is a serial number 87773338. So this mark no longer is under trademark, and it is abandoned. Now, why would that happen? Well, I want to just show you this. Sometimes it could be for a lot of different reasons. So I thought I'd explore, well, why did they abandon that trademark? Is it something bad? Well, this is what it says. And highlighted with the first check mark, you may not see it, so I'll read it to you. Statement: the applicant hereby expressly abandons the application for trademark registration made under the serial number identified above. Let's talk about this. We have a office action. This tells us everything about that application, what happened to it. So let's find out what happened. Why is this being abandoned? Well, we know this is the same company. We got GooCoin Incorporated with yours truly on there. You see them, Rambo Lane at swiftcoin.com. And it's the trademark application for Swift. And here's the application number 87773338. We got that serial number. We know it's the same address, 1601 McCarthy Boulevard in California. So there's no doubt in my mind. Now let's get to the nitty gritty. USPTO, that's the trademark office, sent to them. And this is what they said. It said, To avoid abandonment of applicants' trademark application, the USPTO must receive applicants' complete response to this letter within 6 months, issued on 5/11/2018. That's kind of interesting to me because that project didn't release until 2018, around about January. So that's just 4 months. And then it says a little bit more. It says the following: the reference application has been reviewed and assigned to a trademark examining attorney. The application must respond timely and completely. It said it did a search right here. The trademark examining attorney has searched the office's database of the registered and pending marks and has found no conflicting marks that would bar registration of the trademark. So right there, we know that it had no issues being assigned, but why did they abandon it? So you can see it here, folks. The mark consists of a design featuring a blue bird with a white wing and partially white beak. To the left, a blue stylized word saying Swift, and they failed to reply. This trademark is dead. Now, we know for the Swift blockchain, stay with me, folks. You see it, Swift blockchain, the blue with the white bird, that trademark is dead. But there wasn't any issues found when the trademark office reviewed. They said, hey, there's no conflicts with the Swift blockchain trademark. But we see that Alex Witt still didn't move forward with it. But why? So I want to go deeper into that subject because we still need to understand there's two more. There's the Swift coin trademark and SWFTC mark. So let's go deeper and find out what's going on. Now, I went ahead and looked at the other two marks. You know, the Swift coin. First, we were talking about the blockchain, the blue and white bird. Now I'm going to talk about the Swift coin and the words SWFTC. And accordingly, as you can see here, both of these trademarks are also abandoned, aka dead. Now they have serial numbers, which I highlighted in green on the left and right in a box, and you can read those there, but I'll give them to you in case someone wants to look at those. For the Swift coin, serial number 87773482. That's 837s. And then for the SWFTC word mark, serial number 87773537. Now, if you look at the bottom, the owners for both, SWFTCOIN Foundation Limited Foundation in Singapore, where I showed you earlier. And on the right, the same thing for the same owner. Now, I'm going to go further because I thought that has to be a blow to a lot of you. You're like, oh my goodness, no patent. Oh my goodness, no trademark for these three marks. What are we going to do? Well, you need to hear the full story so you understand why. Remember, these companies have to survive. Finances is something that you have to be savvy and smart. First trademark, one of two, with the Swift coin. This is abandoned on July 8th, 2019. And this is Swift coin. You can see in the green, stylized design. So the design of the smart worldwide financial tech, this is abandoned. And what about the next part? Well, this is the mark on the same day, July 8th, 2019, the SWFTC. That is abandoned as well. But let me read to you so you can understand why these two are abandoned. According to the USPTO, which is the patent office, it says the applicant seeks to register SWFTC in an illustration drawing, which includes words for financial services, namely providing a virtual currency for use by members of an online community via a global computer network. Financial services, providing electronic transfer of a virtual currency for use by members of an online community via a global network. Well, The cited registered mark is SWFTCOIN. Wait a minute, that's a different spelling, folks. SWIFTCOIN, and standard characters for, quote, providing a virtual currency for use by members of an online community via global computing. The similarity of the marks, when comparing the marks, the test is not whether the marks can be distinguished in a side-by-side comparison, but rather whether the marks are sufficiently similar in terms of their overall commercial impression that confusion as to the source of goods and or services offered under respective marks is likely to result. And then it says the likelihood of confusion with the mark in registration number 4363067. And the same holds true for the second SWIFT, SWFTC 1210-2018. The signed trademark examining attorney has reviewed the applicant response dated October 26, 2018, in which the applicant provides arguments against this section to state that it was likely of confusion and refusal. However, the applicant, that SWFTCOIN, the one that we know, did not provide a response to the outstanding specimen refusal or entity requirements. Therefore, the trademark examining attorney accepts the disclaimer of statements, but it does not accept the refusal. And now, this is the SWFTCOIN that was conflicting with SWFTCOIN that we know. Another company already had a trademark that was similar, SWIFTCOIN, and apparently it was registered on July 9th of 2013. SWFTCOIN didn't even get released until 2017-18. So 5 years earlier, another blockchain project with a similar name in New Zealand had a company called SWFTCOIN, a project, and it was already registered. But there's more, folks. The reason for SWFTCOIN and a second one, that was the golden token, and SWFTC, the reason that it was abandoned, it wasn't because Swift didn't try. In fact, Rambo Land wrote back with his whoever represented them in this case and said, listen, I want you to know that my product is different than this other product, and this is why. But the USPTO denied and refused their excuse and didn't allow them to do it because they said the wording is not the issue when side by side. It's the services that you provide. Both SWFTCOIN, SWFTC, the one we know, and SWFTCOIN, SWIFTCOIN, provide services in the virtual spectrum. But let's see exactly what they filed and were registered for in 2013. This SWFTCOIN was registered to do this. Accordingly, this is their advertisement, their specimen, they call it. You see, the first decentral bank of digital currency. And this was also, look at the top, you can see it in Great Britain and all these different places. SWFTCOIN is the ultimate electronic money. It is electronic gold with all the features of Bitcoin and more. Control of your money, your finances, and your privacy. Buy SWFTCOIN at the First National Bank. So I want you to understand this SWFTCOIN in 2013. What were you doing in 2013? I don't think I was even looking at crypto in 2013. Was already selling a service called SWFTCOIN that assisted a bank in New Zealand to transfer Bitcoin. And they had this registered in the United States as early as 2013. And SWFTCOIN of 2017, the one that we know under GooCoin, they didn't. Now, I want you to notice something. This was SWFTCOIN Foundation, which I showed you earlier, which was in Singapore. And that's the trademark we're talking about, right? Well, if you didn't notice, but I did, I paid attention to it. When the responses came from the trademark office, it came from the SWFTCOIN registered to GooCoin. Now, I thought that was important because I want you to keep up with the Singapore company for the trademark went away, and then it consolidated in the United States under Rambo Lane's GooCoin. So the responses back about the trademark, although it initiated with the company in Singapore, it now both responses came from GooCoin in California. So that kind of takes out the needing to know what happened to this company. Obviously, it was initiated in Singapore. And then when he transferred to the United States, he started to respond after he registered GooCoin as the entity that owns SWFTCOIN. So now we can just focus on one place, and that is GooCoin. Let's get a little bit more deeper into this information because I think that's important that we see this. Getting back into this trademark. Now we have a situation. On the left-hand side, we have this abandoned trademark, and it was abandoned on July 8th of 2019. And that's SWFTCOIN, SWFTC. On the right-hand side, we have the registered trademark, SWFTCOIN, from a different company in New Zealand, which was registered on July 9th, 2013. You see that? You see 6 years later, when SWFTCOIN came in to make this trademark, they filed, they did it, and they figured that this wouldn't be an issue. And the first one with the bird and blue background wasn't an issue, but then they shortly after found out that the rest of their trademarks were an issue. So instead of pursuing those for no reason and spending your money on a trademark that couldn't be maintained, they went ahead and did what? They abandoned them. So now all three were dead. But this is what you need to know. As of February 14th, 2020, the SWFTCOIN that was registered in New Zealand in the United States, their registration was canceled. Folks, you heard it here first. The issue with the trademarks is now over. If SWFTCOIN, the one that's GooCoin in the United States of California, wants to go ahead and now seek those trademarks, they now have the opportunity to do so. Because according to the patent office, SWFTCOIN, the original, on February 14th, over 3 years have passed, and they have now canceled it. Now, folks, what is the strategic advantage? Well, one, we now know that you don't have to spend a lot of effortless money for a trademark that doesn't really help your project because it's too closely similar. Is it time to rebrand?
Why do companies decide to rebrand? To be fresh, outdated designs? To be ready for international growth? Or other? Let's dive into some of the main reasons why a brand would undergo rebranding. Company, product, and innovation. Improvements are essential to maintain a successful business, and sometimes this requires some sort of rebranding. Consumer evolution. When consumer behavior evolves, a company must stay relevant and adapt to change accordingly. Weight Watchers, a weight loss company, changed its name to WW in efforts to turn their company into a wellness company instead. Tapping into new customer segments will therefore need a tailored approach. Tupperware shook up its visual identity, invoking a minimal aesthetic to appeal to a more contemporary audience. Leadership changes or company mergers and acquisitions. Mergers and acquisitions are often the most effective ways to rapidly expand into new markets. But from a marketing and branding perspective, it's important to evaluate any overlaps in audiences and to revisit the brand's key message and focus. Amazon took its first major step into grocery when it bought Whole Foods Market in 2017 and used Whole Foods Market brand as the basis for the rebranding, while also adding its own identity touch to it.
Rebranding is a positive thing, and sometimes they have to rebrand. And I'm here to tell you folks, that's exactly what I see is happening. You need to look at the bigger picture. It is not about the patent. It is not about the trademarks. Both the patent would have cost thousands of dollars, and it would have been more than actually the company was making. And the trademark was futile. So you have to now make strategic business decisions. I told you last time that there is a new global market potential for SWFTCOIN and Swift blockchain. If you watch my previous videos, then I showed you the buy the rumor, sell the news about potential connections between SWFTCOIN, Swift blockchain, and other transfer companies of fiat currencies. I then gave you an overview of SWFTCOIN, breaking down all these connections that I was seeing about the project in my review. And I know you had to see the first video, the most in-depth breakdown of SWFTCOIN, where I went through every detail about this project, and you can go through it and see all of it time coded so you can see what section that you want to learn about. And then I talked about the Draper Dragon, and I told you about that seed funding of Draper Dragon and why it was important. We went through SWFTCOIN blockchain itself. I walked you through SWFTCOIN being a one-stop shop, cross-chain wallet exchange and payments app, and why there's so much more than what meets the eye. We talked about the swapping aspect of Swift blockchain and the API for it, and the bridgers of how this is decentralization trading platform across multiple public chains, enhanced security with low transaction fees, lightning fast speeds, support various channels. And you want to know more? Okay, fine. Here it is, July 20th, 2022. It is in the US. Coinbase listed this for a reason. And Coinbase wallet, it uses SWFTCOIN. There's a relationship there. And then I said, okay, let me show you a connection that no one else has ever told you about. I told you about the Fidelity and Swift blockchain inventor of their technologies and patents, which was the same person, Xing Shing. And then Fidelity, after they used that patent, released February 8th of 2024, they talked about Fidelity's use of that patent had a 3% in Bitcoin as institutional crypto investing normalized, skyrocketed millions of dollars using this technology. And then it was Fidelity, who has a $4.24 trillion, who at first gave you a rumor. And we talked about rumors, folks, in the previous year in 2023, the world's third largest asset manager with that $1 trillion amount of assets said they was considering a buyout of Grayscale, and that rumor turned out to be true. And then I showed you Catherine Young, the investment director of China Focus for Fidelity in 2023, said that in 2024, end of the year, we should see something, but we went further. I identified that Fidelity, the same individuals who using the technology that Swift blockchain utilizes with the same inventor, has a focus by introducing themselves to the Chinese market. Remember, Ramble Lane is based out of where? Beijing, China. And he came to Silicon Valley. And where's he at? In the T Park location, who is trying to increase that communication and worldwide dominance. And we talked about HTX Hubu, which is the second largest amount of volume for this project other than Coinbase, and they are expanding to where? China. And Justin Sun stated on March 27th, 2023, that they put an application in to get back into this China focus, as well as Fidelity. And then SWFTCOIN, we see, said celebrating the year of the dragon, and we see them right there talking about what? Their red packets. And I talked to you about the significance of the red packets and how the red packets is the same as the red envelopes, and it has a significant cultural, traditional exchange of value. And that's why Swift is putting themselves in that position for the market that they're trying to break into worldwide and continue to make these connections with China. Now, I talked to you about the Web5 Nexus and SWFTCOIN integration, and we talked about why Bybit Web3 and this Nexus Web3 is important. But there's more, because we talked about why Bybit announced January 18th, 2024, that they have this collaboration with their swap seamlessly done with SWFTCOIN. And why is that important? Because they're not only doing that there, but Japan looked into the Web3, and SWIFT is in a position with Japan because they already had talked about that previously when they talked to Meizu Bank, who has a $1.8 trillion as of 2024, who liked the idea of SWIFT and liked what they was doing at the time when they first brought it to their attention in 2018. Now, we talked about BitThumb and Swift blockchain and how they have a partnership for this global partnership. And why is that important? Because in 2025, South Korea will now consider making BitThumb a tradable stock on the stock exchange, just like they did Coinbase. And we all know what happened when Coinbase did that. And then I need to tell you about why it is important. Folks, I just laid out for you the patents and the trademarks. And I laid out for you that there are connections. And I need to summarize this piece before I go to the last piece. And that is this. Folks, there is a connection between patents, trademarks, and companies that is deeper than simply filing a piece of paper. There's a connection when you have to make strategic business decisions. And this is what I see. Swift blockchain, SWFTCOIN are the name of the projects, but the company GooCoin, ran by Ramble Lane, had to make a decision for the last 6 years. Do they pursue a patent that costs more money and fees than the business was making, which would assuredly make that business fail? Or did they cut off the arm and make connections? I think they chose the latter, to make connections, and boy, have they made connections. 2, the trademark. It was seen firsthand, the 3 trademarks: the blue trademark with the white bird, the golden trademark with the coin, and the words SWFTC. The blue trademark with the white bird, Alex Witt said, hey, I'm a partner, I'm the CFO. I don't think you should pursue this, because they found out that another company has similar words, SWFTC. Now, the other 2 we looked at, and because they were registered under SWFTCOIN that's named differently, that wasn't the problem. It was because of the services would have been confusing. The USPTO denied that application. It would have cost more money to try to pursue it. So they abandoned their pursuit of those 3 aspects and the patent. And did it matter? Absolutely not. Because now they have an opportunity, like most companies, to rebrand, which that led me to the next video that you need to know about. Folks, during the course of my investigation of this project, I uncovered the billionaire blueprint, and I'm going to release it to you. Look at the faces to the right. If you don't know who they are, then you don't know what the billionaire blue plan is for this project, and you don't see the connection. This is bigger than WinMoon and WinLambo. This is bigger than today's price action of 10%, 20%. We are talking about global connections, and I found it, and I'm going to share it with you. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you watch it. Remember, you can see this all first in the Underdog Metaverse channel. Look out for that next video, because you're not going to want to miss the billionaire blueprint. This has been the Underdog Research Channel, where we put research over the hype. I'll see you later. Thank you for watching.
producers were venom.